Hi everyone, so today I'm going to show you how to conduct deep research using AI-powered LLM and multimodal LLM chatbots. So what you're seeing right now is an example prompt instruction using Create and Chain of Thought framework. We're not going to go deeper into prompt engineering techniques because this would take a bit longer. So it's going to be a separate topic and potentially on a separate workshop at the same time. Now I'm going to introduce you some of the platforms that some people are unaware of. So I'm currently showing you DeepSeek, which is a popular Chinese LLM chatbot. Currently, I'm using the free version. Next is I'm going to show you QwenLM, which is owned by Alibaba, which is also a Chinese-based LLM chatbot. And then we're currently using the free version of Microsoft's Copilot. And then right now, we're currently using Google's Gemini Advanced, which is the paid version of the Gemini chatbot. Additionally, we're using ChatGPT. I'm currently using the Plus version. And then I'm also using Perplexity. I'm currently using Perplexity Pro. And then next is I'm using Claude AI, which is also the Pro version. Okay, so we're going to test the prompt instruction that I've recently created, and I'm going to show this to you. So please note that at the moment, Claude does not have a deep research function yet, but you can use its most powerful language model to conduct a deep research since our prompt instruction is explicitly requesting to conduct a deep research. Similarly with DeepSeek and QwenLM, so since it does not have a direct feature for deep research, so what we're going to do, we're going to use both the search and the deep think. So the deep think is basically a feature where the LLM chatbot conducts an advanced reasoning and also used for solving complex problems. So with the combination, it ensures that it helps us get the most optimal result that we want for DeepSeek. Similarly with QwenLM. So we're going to use both search and thinking. So the purpose of the search is basically, or it's explicitly pulling data directly from the internet. Like, for example, pulling sources coming from Wikipedia, from other relevant educational websites, and so on and so forth. And so, with Microsoft's Copilot, it does not have the deep research yet, but it does have the think deeper. So, I'm not exactly sure for the Pro version because Copilot already has a Pro version. And then we're going to use Gemini's most powerful model, which is the Gemini 2.5 Pro with a combination of deep research. If you notice, if you're going to just select the default 2.0 Flash, you can see the canvas where you can create docs in code or choose a deep research. But in our case, we're going to opt into using the most powerful version, which has the combination of the deep research feature. Next, we're going to use ChatGPT. So we'll try to use its most capable model, which is the research preview, with enabling the deep research. So as you can see, I still have 9 available deep research feature until May the 19th, since I'm using the Plus version. If you opt to use the Pro version, that would cost you about $200 per month. But the good thing is you can use the deep research feature unlimited. So for demo purpose, I'm going to use the deep research function since I still have this feature until the 19th of May. And then let's go to Perplexity. So you can also choose different models here, like DeepSeek's R1 model, which is already a pre-trained model based on Perplexity. You can also use the O3 Mini. You can use the most powerful language model used by Claude. or OpenAI's most advanced model, which is the 4.1. In our case, we're going to switch on research since we're going to conduct a deep research. Next is we'll just use the most powerful model by Claude, which is the 3.7 Sonnet. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to hit submit for all of these platforms. So remember that each of these LLM chatbots behave differently since their data is pre-trained differently at the same time. But then again, compared 2 years ago or 3 years ago, these LLM chatbots perform highly and comprehensively and has more advanced features at the same time. For example, ChatGPT Plus and ChatGPT Pro already has the voice version or the voice model. Similarly with Perplexity Pro. Now, as we can see, these are some of the common features you can see on popular LLM chatbot, which is the deep thinking. So what it means is it's basically giving us the context of what the LLM chatbot is trying to do, what it's trying to think, its reasoning capabilities. So, as we can see, DeepSeek has already generated its deep research, although it's not yet finished, but it's already generating the content that we are requesting. So, the numbers that you will notice is basically the resource where the LLM chatbot pulled the data. So, for example, DeepSeek says that SMAC uses AI to analyze purchase history. So, if you wanted to cross-reference or cross-check, making sure that the LLM chatbot performs well, you can apply the human in the loop process. So, the human in the loop is actually the process where humans are at the top of the AI's decision making. So, at the end of the day, the humans are the ones who are capable of a more critical thinking and also reasoning at the same time because we have this what we call our judgment call. Okay, so you can also check this context. Let's say, for example, if we pull this website, let's say you wanted to double check like Philippines, it's mentioning about the Philippines and it says that, let's say, it's saying that SMAC. Okay, so let's say SMAC. Okay, so it's mentioning that the loyalty market in the Philippines is highly competitive, featuring a mix of domestic giants, regional brands, international players. Conglomerates like SM Group dominates the retail loyalty landscape through their SM Advantage card. Okay, let's validate because they're mentioning artificial intelligence. Okay, so it's saying here that SMAC uses AI to analyze purchase, but before we do that, let's go back to the rest of the LLM chatbots. So, Copilot has already generated its response. Same goes with QwenLM. While Gemini, it's saying here it's giving us the analyze results, create reports. So if you wanted to continue, you have the option to edit the plan or start the research. In my case, I'm just going to push start research. Next is it's saying here that on ChatGPT, it's asking us any additional context. So which means that it wants to conduct a deep research, but to make sure that it's giving us the comprehensive data. So it's asking us for clarification questions. It says here, should I include only Filipino-owned companies or also multinational retailers operating the Philippines? Include Philippine-based companies that had already utilized AI for loyalty pro platforms or loyalty programs. Similarly with TADA. Would you like the case study to prioritize recent examples? Yes. Should the focus both online or brick and mortar? So we can do both. Do you want comparison to other Southeast Asian markets or should? Yes, you may. We can also add an additional context, however, you may include um, international companies as an example for comparison. Now, since I've already finished providing my clarification answers, I'm going to hit submit. Now, let's proceed to Perplexity. Now, as we can see, Perplexity has already given us the context. So, as you can see, the numbers that you're seeing right now, let's zoom a little bit. These numbers, similarly to what DeepSeek and QwenLM showed us, this is where the context has been pulled or where the data has been pulled. So again, you have the option to cross-reference the data. So let's say it's saying that given that 70% of Filipino consumers desire greater transparency regarding AI use, retailers should make this priority in their loyalty program implementation. So let's see, where did he get the 77? Okay, sorry, let's go back to, I actually pressed the wrong button. Okay, so it's saying 70%. Where did it get it? So it says here 77% of consumers want clear information on how their data used in AI, but only 53% of brands are fulfilling this critical expectation. Okay. So it says here that given that 70% Filipino consumers desire greater transparency regarding AI use, retailers should make priority of their loyalty program implementation. Okay, so that's an example of like a cross-referencing. As a researcher, it's actually your judgment call if you think that the response is for you is accurate or not, or if you wanted to refine it. Now, since Gemini and ChatGPT will take longer to generate its deep research, so we're going to tackle some of the key points about conducting human in the loop. So you will find out if Gemini is still conducting the deep research. Now, you can see on this right panel that it's already giving us the context of what Gemini is trying to do and what Gemini is trying to think in a human perspective. This feature, you have the option to either view sites browsed or show its reasoning capabilities or thinking. So these are the sources or the websites where Gemini is trying to pull the data. Okay, so going back to deep research on what we're trying to discuss, like the SMAC earlier, if we go back to the website, let's say, let's see, let's try to go back to the context where it mentioned SMAC or SM Advantage card. Okay, so it's saying here that SMAC uses AI to analyze purchase history. So let's try to see if there is another mention like, okay, so it's saying similarly SM Advantage card has transitional points of system. Let's use artificial intelligence, so, or AI. Okay, so it is clearly it's clear that DeepSeek hallucinated. So hallucinations is basically a false response. So let's try to put this way. So it's like that you thought that this response is accurate because it seems that this content is something that we think that it's true or clear, but apparently it seems that the response is false. So that's an example of an hallucination. So hallucination is basically a response in which users thought that these responses are accurate or seem to be true, but unfortunately it's not, especially when you cross-reference or cross-check it. So, an example would be, let's say, you can do a follow-up response. Let's say, based on this context you've provided, I didn't see any mention that SMAC used AI to analyze purchase history. So we just wanted to make sure to highlight this context. Could you clarify this further? Then let's double check whether ChatGPT or Gemini has already finished conducting its deep research. So in ChatGPT's case, since we've used the 4.5, which is one of the most capable version for deep research, so on the right side panel, we can see what ChatGPT is trying to do or think, and also what are those necessary data or information it's trying to pull from. So if we click this, we can see where ChatGPT is trying to pull the data or what sources it's trying to pull it from. So we can see that it's still showing thinking, which means that ChatGPT is still working on the deep research. Same goes with Gemini. So if we scroll down, so we can see what are the contexts it's trying to pull it from. In the case of Perplexity, it's already finished or it's already done. So these are some of the examples of the human in the loop. So you might want to actually maximize those features. You can also sorry, you can also try to do a follow-up question, or if you think that you see that oops, sorry, whether you see that the responses might not be accurate. So just like what I did on DeepSeek, so I had to be more critical to ensure that I'm getting the optimal result that I want. So as we can see, clarification on SMAC AI usage. The original case study stated that SMAC uses data to analyze purchase history and offer dynamic rewards. However, this claim conflated general industry trends in SMAC specific practices. Okay, but apparently it does not giving us the resource. Can you explicitly share me the resource? Same goes with the rest. If you wanted to do a cross-reference, so you can actually pull these data. Let's see, for example, increased redemption. Let's go to some examples. Let's say preference. If we click this, it's going to show us the proper section. But apparently it's showing us an international resource. So let's see. Let me try to... Okay, so there's no mention about the Philippines. Then let's go back to ChatGPT and Gemini. Okay, same goes with Perplexity. If you wanted to cross-reference, you can actually click these numbers. And then going to Claude, let's go ahead and double check the response. Okay, so Claude has already generated the content based on our deep research request. However, it does not have the feature or the numbers or the hyperlinks where you can cross-reference the resources. It only gives us the, let's say, ustada.com, and then if we scroll down below, you can actually um, check this. Let's say if you wanted to cross-reference, but you had to manually search it on Google or on Bing. So what's the reason why I'm showing you all of these? Now, the reason is for you to be able to determine and also figure out which platforms works, or let's say which platform fits or which platform works best for you. Okay? Especially DeepSeek and QwenLM is still currently on a free version. So in my case, what I think is on this task, DeepSeek did not give me the right answer because it's clearly hallucinated. However, in some aspects, like for example on math, reason, or thinking, you might want to use DeepSeek on other functions. Similarly with QwenLM, it did not give me the optimal result, but it is good on other tasks. So this way you have like an overview on which platforms you think or how these platforms perform, or when, or let's say you wanted to try to compare these platforms. So you already have an idea which platform you wanted to use, which again which will help you determine which platform best for you, especially if you have an organization. Because remember, not all of these platforms are perfect. Each of these platforms has its own capabilities and limitations. And remember, generative AI, including other emerging AI technologies, are evolving. So which means that these features that I am showing you right now may be different in the next couple of months, or might have already been enhanced or improved. Similarly with Claude. So I'm not yet seeing a feature or a deep research feature for Claude, but most likely it may have similar features in the next couple of weeks or in the next couple of months once Claude rolls out certain features or enhancements or even improvements, because every platform has its feature where, let's say for example, it collects data from users based on the feedback. That, say for example, Gemini got 1,000 feedback that they want, like let's say a live video from Gemini itself. Okay, so going back to Gemini, so we can see it already conducted its deep research platform. Now, the drop down that you're seeing right now is where the context has been based. So similarly, what I did with DeepSeek, with Claude, and then also with Perplexity, you can also cross-reference or cross-check its resources or the context, whether you think that it's accurate or not. So let's say, for example, market research future estimates that's 76.45 billion US dollars in 2024, projecting growth. Okay, so the Philippine retail sector represents yada yada yada. So let's go ahead and cross-reference it. So it says your market size is 76.45 billion US dollars. And then also, since Gemini just finished its deep research functionality, we can see that it has also created a table for us. And then you have the option to export this to docs. And then one interesting feature that I'm going to show you is the audio overview. But let's make sure that it has already finished its deep research feature. So this one that you're seeing, you have the option to generate audio overview. So I'm going to show you this one. So as we can see, this is the deep research that came from Gemini. So imagine you don't have to do anything, just click export to docs and it has already exported it directly to a document format. So imagine the effort that you're doing for research for days, for weeks, or even for months, which is already possible that you can only do it for less than an hour or even less than 30 minutes, depending on how much effort you exert in terms of doing or conducting human in the loop process to ensure that the AI's response is at least 99% accurate. And then let's revisit ChatGPT because it's still taking a little bit longer. Okay, it's still generating an audio overview. Now, just to let you know, this audio overview is similar to Notebook LM. Let me just show you. Notebook LM is also a Gemini powered tool which is owned by Google. Let's say, for example, this is an article that I've already extracted, and this is the audio overview that I've already generated. Okay, but on this case, because this audio feature was just recently released a couple of days ago, so we're not going to explore the feature further for Notebook LM. It's going to be on a different topic or on a different or a separate discussion. So let's focus on the standalone chatbots. So as we can see, it's still generating an audio overview. And then right now, ChatGPT is still working on its deep research. And then let's do the same thing. So if you notice here again, so Copilot also has these numbers showing this is where the data has been pulled from. So you can actually do a cross-reference to ensure that, again, the AI's responses are accurate. So again and again, what I'm saying is it is recommended for us to use the human in the loop process because the human in the loop process is basically a person on top of the AI is working on ensuring that the AI's responses are accurate and insightful, because the reason for that is humans are the only ones who are capable of in terms of like decision making, which includes our gut feelings, emotions, so on and so forth. Remember that machines, AI does not have any emotions, so they're more into the objective side, while humans are using both the subjective and the objective side in terms of making decisions. Okay, so let's go back to Gemini. So we can see it has already finished it's generating its audio overview, which you can actually download its audio overview on file. Then before we test it, so as we can see, ChatGPT already finished generating its responses. Or similar with other LLM chatbots I've shown you earlier, you have the option to cross-reference its response. You can see when you hover your mouse where the data has been pulled from. So same goes, you use Control F, so on and so forth to confirm and see if the responses are accurate or not. So again, so you might want to double check this as well, similar to what we did with other LLM chatbots. Right now we're going to show you the audio overview.
Welcome to the deep dive. We've got some really interesting materials here, all about AI and how it's reshaping customer loyalty, specifically in the Philippines.
Yeah, quite a stack.
Definitely. So our mission today is basically to sift through this and pull out the key stuff, what's actually happening with AI and Philippine retail loyalty now, and what's the future look like? Cut through the noise.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the first thing that just, leaps out is the growth. The whole picture.
How so?
I mean, the Philippine retail market itself is huge and getting bigger.
Yeah.
We're talking projections like nearly $110 billion in the next 10 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's significant.
Right. And loyalty programs specifically, that market's also booming. Expected to cross $1 billion by 2028.
$1 billion just for loyalty.
Yep. And AI is flagged everywhere as the key tech driving these changes. It's not just a small factor. It seems to be really central.
Okay, so a major force, not just tinkering around the edges. Let's dig into the specifics then. How are retailers actually using AI in the Philippines right now in their loyalty programs?
Well, personalization is probably the biggest area you see immediately.
Like custom offers.
Exactly. Think Jollibee, right? With their Happy Plus card, they're clearly using that data to send out targeted rewards. And, e-commerce platforms like Lazada, Shopee, they almost certainly have recommendation engines running on AI.
Yeah, that you might also like stuff.
Precisely. And SMSC too, they're talking a lot about data-driven, personalized engagement. Then you have platforms like Tada explicitly offering AI-driven personalization. They've shown success with clients in Indonesia like Kasum Group, boosting retention significantly.
So it's about making it feel like the brand actually sort of gets you.
That's the goal, yeah. Making the interaction feel relevant, not just generic.
Okay, relevance makes sense. What else beyond just the offers?
Customer service is another big one. Zalora, for instance, uses an AI chatbot.
Right, for handling queries quickly.
Yeah. And Tada, the platform we mentioned, they also offer an AI WhatsApp chatbot specifically for loyalty program support. You're seeing this more broadly too across the BPO sector here. Serving retail AI chatbots are becoming pretty standard. And then there's operational efficiency. A slightly different angle, but Melco Resorts, for example, they use AI machine vision, basically teaching computers to see and analyze images.
Okay.
They use it to count casino chips. It's part of managing their loyalty program behind the scenes.
Interesting. So it touches different parts of the business.
It does. Right now, it leans heavily on using the digital ecosystem and, foundational analytics.
Now, this is where the Philippine context seems really important. How do the unique things about this market shape how AI is used in loyalty?
Oh, massively.
Yeah.
You've got incredibly high mobile phone use and internet penetration.
Everyone's online, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. And e-wallets like Gcash and Maya are dominant payment methods. Then add the cultural layer's strong values around Kapwa, which is like community or...
So let's stop this. So Melco Group is, I'm not sure if you're familiar with City of Dreams Manila. Basically, Melco Group is operating City of Dreams Manila here in the Philippines. So upon checking, I was able to confirm that Cognite Corporation, a leader of enterprise-class artificial intelligence, image and video analysis, has announced its partnership with Melco Resorts and Entertainment Limited, which operates City of Dreams Manila, as we can see. So it means that this is an example cross-check or cross-reference. And then, since ChatGPT already has finished conducting its deep research, similarly, you can also conduct it a cross-check or cross-reference. And then I'm going to show you another interesting feature. If you click this one, read aloud, it will actually read us, or it will generate an audio where ChatGPT is reading the content. This is actually very useful and good for people with disabilities, especially for people who have visual impairment or who are almost unable to read. So they rely on audio overview, similar with Gemini. Okay.
AI and retail loyalty platforms in the Philippines, a comprehensive case study. Executive summary. Artificial intelligence, AI, is reshaping how Philippine retailers design and manage customer loyalty programs. This case study examines the current use of AI in retail loyalty platforms in the Philippines, highlighting real-world implementations over the past 2 to 3 years. Key findings include growing adoption. Philippine loyalty programs are rapidly going digital and AI-driven, in line with global trends. The loyalty market in the Philippines is projected to reach over $1 billion by 2029, nearly doubling from 2024. Retailers across mall.
Okay, that's an example of this read aloud feature. You also have the option to edit it in Canvas, just like this one. However, it may have already exceeded its context window, which means that the number of texts have already exceeded its limit. So it says here that the document is longer than the Canvas can currently handle. So to edit, please reduce the length. So we're just going to discontinue or disregard it. So let's just basically disregard this feature. Okay, so those are some of the examples of the deep research that I've shown you. And please make sure to continue to follow our pages or our business page, like our LinkedIn, our Facebook, our YouTube channel. So for us to be able to provide you with more valuable contents. That's all. Thank you so much for participating.